yeah, week 16, season almost done. Hey, I told you if you ain't got it right, it's pretty much over for a lot of y'all. It's starting to get all the way settled. So if you think you finna slide in, you finna make a run now. 2 games left, forget about it. If you ain't got hot by now, just stay cold. Yep. So we gonna start it off. We gonna get into your Saturday games. No, we ain't gonna start there. We gonna start on your Thursday games. Seattle and the Rams. Yeah, it looked like it could be a playoff battle coming forward. But yeah, Seattle, 38-37. They come back from down 30. They was up. They was losing 30-14, but a punt return and a couple key plays, and here we is. We're going in overtime, tied 30-30. The Rams score again, of course, but Seattle come back down the field. They said, we ain't going on defense again. They do a 2-pointer, and that's what your score was, 38-37. Stafford, 457 yards, 3 touchdowns. Nakua, 225, 2 touchdowns, video game numbers. Darnold, 270, 2 touchdowns, and interception, 2 of them, but he overcame it. Walker had a nice game, 100 yards rushing. Jackson Smith and Nigba, 96 yards, game time TD, hey, leading the league in reception yards. He is a nightmare. But yeah, it was a whole little weird play where they went for 2 before, and Darnold threw the ball backwards, and it bounced off a couple people's hands, and it was just picked up in the end zone by a Seattle player. And here we are. They get rewarded 2 points for that. A lot of people was questioning that. I mean, technically, a backwards pass, or it's considered a lateral. It could be considered a fumble, depending on how it goes. It just can't go forward and be picked up. It would have been an incomplete pass. So I guess that's the right call. It's kind of suspect when you look at the game now, because those 2 points decided this game. But yeah, I don't know. It's a lot of weird calls that have been made. We'll talk more about that in a minute. But yeah, Seattle, they control their destiny. They can be the number 1 seed as long as they continue. I mean, they do have the 49ers in there, and they do have the Panthers, who are in the playoff hunt as well. So it's not all the way done. The Rams have an easier schedule with the Falcons and Falcons coming up. But I mean, Seattle, I mean, I think they pretty much can handle business. They can win both of those games. I don't see them really struggling. No offense to those teams, but Seattle has just been on a roll all year. And the thing about Darnold is, when he doesn't look good, he still finds a way to make key plays. And he's not having a world-class, unanimous MVP season, but he looks like he's that man. Like, last year was not a fluke. This is a team that's being led by Darnold, and he has not let them down. He has been able to make it happen. Even when he has these 2 interceptions, these weird fumble situations, he's able to recover, and this team does not fall apart. And I think that says a lot to Darnold, but as well as the coaching staff. So, hey, Seattle, I don't know if you want to go up there. That's one of the loudest stadiums. I don't think you want that noise, so somebody better hope they can interrupt that number 1 seed, because for them to have it throughout the playoffs, not looking good for a lot of people. But, yeah, we going to move on. So, Bears and Green Bay play Saturday, gave us a special game. And it was special, all right. The Bears win this one 22-16 in overtime. Jordan Love leaves the game in the second quarter with a concussion. I don't believe it was a dirty hit. Jordan Love did lower his head, but he came in, so I think that was just a bang play, and that's just what happened. But Willis, he did come in. He had 77 yards passing, 44 rushing. I mean, he did what he was called to do. I mean, coming in randomly on a windy, cold night in Chicago, he made it happen. He kept him in the game, and they did lead 16-6 until about 5 minutes into the left in the fourth quarter, and this team just fell apart. They let Chicago score. Caleb made a crazy throw to the back of the end zone on 4th down. Then they recover a They recovered the onside kick. Romeo Dobbs, they've been on your head, big bro, but I mean, he was right there. You got to go forward. You can't go backwards when it's right there. You need to dive on that. But it is what it is now. Caleb had 250, 2 touchdowns, game-winning touchdown, 46 yards to DJ Moore. And you know what? It was crazy. Seemed like the more he found DJ Moore, the better things got for him in life. Towards the end of the game and in overtime, that was the place to go. And hopefully going forward, that's where you go. Number one. Like, I know Adunze is coming back. You don't have Luther out there right now, but DJ Moore needs to be your number one goal. You need to get him the ball consistently going into the playoffs. That needs to be your guy. Swift 58, Mongai 50 on the rushing. Those two have been a problem for a lot of teams for a while now, and they are really making it happen with this running game, and it is taking them to another level. The Bears 11-4. Who knew that was gonna happen? Yeah, but they in the playoffs. It's hard to judge this game. I know the Bears had a magical night and everything, but it's hard to judge when you don't have this. You don't have the other team starting quarterback. I know the Bears got injuries, but your starting quarterback is out. That kind of trumps a lot, because it would be the same if Caleb was out and the Packers was missing just 2 receivers. So I don't know. I don't know how you really gauge this battle with the Bears and the Packers, because the way it's looking, the Bears, if both of these teams stay put, they'll meet again in 2 weeks. And usually when teams split, sometimes it's hard to gauge who has the advantage. I know the Bears are on a high because of that game, but once again, Jordan Love will be back. And Jacobs, for whatever reason, he didn't run the ball, but Wilson did fill in good, so you do have somebody that can make up for that. And I don't know. We might get a different result if they go back to Chicago for the playoffs. But the Bears rolling right now, so they got the 49ers. They ain't nothing to play with right now. And they close out with the Lions. They still fighting. So there's still some work to be done, but they on their way. 11-4. You're going to the playoffs. Congratulations. Keep it up. Oh, Tampa. Boy, blow it against the Carolina Panthers. They lose 23-20. Mayfield, 145, 1 touchdown through the game-losing pick. It ended up being a pick that lost them the game because they didn't get the ball back after that. But Young had 191 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. Game-winning field goal, 48 yards from Fitzgerald. And that's pretty much this game. Tampa was promising 6-2, and they have struggled. And they are now 8-7. They are going backwards. And Carolina is now in control of the division. The one good thing for Tampa is that they will play Carolina again in 2 weeks. Hopefully that means something, because the way they're going, who knows? We thought they should have won a few more games than they have, but since Baker has had that shoulder injury, he has not looked like the Baker from the beginning, the first half of the season, and this team is just struggling to stop anybody on offense. It just seems like terror for a Todd Bowles defense that's more solid and disciplined. It seems like it's a complete struggle to stop anybody with this, and I don't know. I'm not saying they should miss the playoffs, but maybe it ain't all the way there. It ain't for them. Carolina seems like they holding on. They really want to go to the playoffs. I thought they would have quit a couple weeks ago, but here we are talking about the Panthers trying to make the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. Maybe they'll be playing for the division in 2 weeks, or maybe Carolina might handle that business. We'll see, because every time I think Carolina's going to take that step, they go backwards. So we'll see what happens with them. Lions. The Lions lose to the Steelers 29-24, and they lose in a weird way. Very weird. Goff had 364 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. The Lions, a team that's a really good rushing team. Gills, Montgomery, the whole unit only had 16 yards. Kind of crazy to say. We never really see that lack of production, but That's what it was. Rodgers 266, 1 touchdown. Warren 143 rushing yards. Gainwell 50 yards rushing and 78 yards receiving. Boy called a touchdown laying down on his side like he was posing in an R&B album cover. Some of y'all remember them album covers they used to lay on the side. I'm not gonna do it, but you can picture that in your mind. You know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all older than 30, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, he was laying on the side, caught the ball, and managed to get up and run all the way for a touchdown. And that is what the Detroit defense has been doing. No Joseph, no Arnold, no Branch. Secondary is cooked. They backups. They playing the backups backup at this point. And it's really nothing you could do with this defense. It's not necessarily, I mean, when you missing Pro Bowl starters, it's nothing really you could do. They're getting pressure, but they missing guys up front too. So I mean, it's basically Hutchinson a bust, and he's giving it all he has. But I mean, they can't stop anybody on offense at all. I mean, defense has been getting cooked for weeks now. And one thing about this game, the Steelers had the lead, and then the Lions was coming. Lions was making their comeback. The Lions had a pass interference call on, say, Brown, and then he laterals the ball back to Goff. Goff runs in for the touchdown, but it is canceled because of the offensive pass interference call. Was it a pass interference? Probably. A little pushed off, of course, yeah. But, I mean, we've seen those plays not get called a lot. And it's just a weird way to lose after you make the comeback. It's just a weird way to lose. But once again, Dan Campbell, you was down by the 5-yard line early in the game. You opted to go forward on 4th down instead of kicking the 3 points. That would have gave you, at that point, it would have been 29-27, and then we're kicking a field goal instead of having to go for a touchdown. They almost had it, but penalties pushed them back, and this is what happened. But if you needed only a field goal, that penalty pushing you back wouldn't have mattered, because even though you didn't get the touchdown, field goal still sends you home with a win. Now we 8-7. We're trying to hope that we can win 2 and hope that somebody gives us some help. The Green Bay falls apart, and that's pretty much your only way to get in the playoffs this year. And unfortunately, it's been a good year offensively, but the defense, So hopefully they can figure out something. But y'all might have to draft on that side, because there's been injuries for the last 2 years now. I mean, you can't keep sitting on that. And Dan Campbell, you got to kind of get out your own way, because these field goals, you leaving points on the board, and sometimes you need to just take the 3. I know it's not as aggressive, and that's what you built this team off of, but sometimes we need to rack up the field goal. So when it comes down to situations like this, you're kicking for the game-winning field goal, and you're not trying to go for a touchdown. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Weird play to lose by, but bad situation to be in. And then we move on. The Patriots outlast the Ravens without Lamar Jackson, though, for most of the game, 28-24. Lamar Jackson leads in the second quarter with a back contusion. He looked pretty solid. Looked like he was off to a good start. And then Hundley comes in, and Hundley did hold it together, but Henry also had 128, 2 touchdowns, but for some odd reason, Henry is not getting the ball late in the game. We've seen this before. And Baltimore struggles to close out these games. Drake May had 380 yards passing, 2 TDs, 1 interception, but he found Diggs for 138, and they just had them a good night. The Ravens led this game by 10 in the third, and then couldn't close it out. Henry fumbles and Zay Flower fumbles later in the game that gives the ball back to the Patriots so they can score, and the Ravens been struggling to close out some of these games. I mean, this kind of looked like that Buffalo game from the first game of the season where y'all have control and then something happens and this team never rebounds. They the other team scores, responds to what you're doing, and you just say, I don't really know if I want to try no more. It's like they start off good, they look structured, disciplined, like they have a game plan, and then somewhere in the third and fourth, they kind of lullaby themselves to sleep. Is they a team that can turn it off and on? I don't know, because they haven't. This was a game they probably should have had, even though Lamar is out. He was up by 10. I think lack of fumbles or giving the ball to Henry because he was rolling. Let him close you out because you don't want to put that pressure on Hundley coming in like that. He did do good filling in, but you know to get a ball to Henry, and for some odd reason they didn't. I know he fumbled early in the game, but that's your star player. You got to give the ball to him, put it in his hands, let him cancel that out for you. So now Ravens, they don't know what the issue is with Lamar. He's day to day. Hopefully he plays because they need to win the last two. They definitely need him on Saturday because they play Green Bay, and then if they win that game, they might have to hope for the Steelers to lose to the Browns, maybe, and also that would lead them to a battle for the division in last week of the season against the Steelers. So they need a Steelers loss, and they need to win against the Green Bay Saturday for that even to matter in week 18. But we'll see. Ravens kind of choked that game away. I mean, inability to close is kind of crazy. They're a better team, but there's been a lot of injuries this year. Lamar's being in and out the lineup. He hasn't looked like Lamar since he came back. They just been holding it together in spite of that, and maybe this team has ran out of gas, but we'll see what they do next week. And last but not least, old man Rivers. Crazy. It kind of goes together because his last name is Phillip and last name is Rivers, so old man River. Anyways, Colts fight hard, but they was no match for the 49ers. They lose 48-27. Rivers had a pretty good game. 277, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, couple missed throws. Missed some of these guys on some of these passes, underthrown, but arm strength just wasn't there. He did make a lot of good throws, but some of them passes to stretch the field, put him in scoring position, maybe get a touchdown, wasn't there, but he did play well. He did play pretty well. So just for anybody, not for 44, but 44 years of age, anybody. Taylor, 46 yards, 1 touchdown, kind of quiet game for him. Kind of needed a little bit more, but Purdy, 295, 5 touchdowns. McCaffrey, 117 yards. And Kettle, 115, 1 touchdown. McCaffrey. The 49ers go as he go. Rushing the ball, receiving is just, he pretty much looking at a 1,000-yard rushing season and a 1,000-yard receiving season, which is pretty good. So I think that's something to be. Kettle, he had a hip injury, got hit kind of low. He's day to day, but I think he's looking to play against the Bears on Sunday night. So I think the 49ers is okay. Their offense is clicking. They haven't punted the ball in the last 3 games. That's kind of crazy. Like no punting, like not one. That's crazy. Like this offense is clicking. They have held it together, and they are 11-4. Who would have thought it? Purdy missed in half the season. Kettle was out. No Bosa. No Warner. No Ayuk. McCaffrey had some games out. It's just they've been able to keep together, and they still have a chance for the number 1 seed with all them injuries, and that's not a team you really want to deal with. Bears, good luck, because you got to go see them in San Francisco, and the way they clicking, that's not a team you want to deal with either. But yeah, 49ers holding on, making it happen. Rivers and the Colts pretty much all but done. They're 8-7. A lot needs to happen. People need to lose, and y'all need to win. But I mean, they gave it what they had. They put up a good fight. It just didn't work out. 49ers, they ran into a rough team playing the 49ers. But I don't know. They said they're going to stick with Rivers against Jacksonville, so we'll see how that goes. So what did we learn? We learned that sometimes a lateral gets you backwards pass gets you 2 points, but sometimes you need to kick field goals so you don't have to be in position to win off a touchdown. Um, if your backup comes in, hopefully he does good, but sometimes it just is not enough. And teams that we never thought would be here is right here, 11-4, and they will play each other Sunday. Bears and 49ers being mentioned. Yep. And you could be 44 years old and go out there and still get it done. Some of them throws might not hit, but hey, you can still get you almost 300 yards. So, hey, if anybody looking to come back, go ahead and handle that. Go ahead and tell the NFL you're ready to go. I'm thinking about seeing if I can try out next year. I ain't 44. I got a little something in the tank. I never played, but I got something left. So I might see what they can get on somebody practice squad and go from there, man. We ain't gonna go straight to the league. We gonna be humble. We gonna work our way up. Lord willing, we'll see what the Lord decides on that one. So I appreciate y'all for watching. Oh man, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Merry Christmas. Enjoy the holidays. Don't eat too much of that food and pass out on somebody's couch. Y'all be safe.